Hello, good afternoon. I'm Cooper with another Marketing Minute. Today we are continuing our series all about what to post on social media, uh, basically helping you outline a pretty good social media content strategy based on the data from our own social media strategies, and then also just how to make those posts the most effective they can be. Today we're focusing specifically on market updates. Everybody wants to do market updates. Agents love to put them in their newsletters, post them on social media. But it turns out very few people actually care about your market updates. So we're going to go pretty deep here in a couple of minutes into specifically how you can make your market updates great. So here's why no one cares about your market updates. Well, actually, overall, this is objectively true based on the data. They're some of our lowest performing social media posts across the board for JP Willman as well as our agents. And the natural mindset of people in your sphere, it makes sense that they don't care because real estate's really only relevant to the average person a few months out of every decade. The average person selling or buying a house once every 10 years. The process, maybe 8 to 9 months max in terms of the entire buyer's journey for real estate. So that's a fraction of the time. And you're marketing people in your sphere, always. And they really only care about what the market's doing every once in a while. So why do we do them? Well, it's important to establish yourself as an expert and to continually prove that you have your thumb on the market and that you do data-driven decision-making. Just providing this kind of a subtle, passive drip of information to your sphere about the fact that just you're on top of it, right? They associate you with market data that they are not seeing anywhere else. When they go to make a real estate transaction, they're going to think of you as an expert source. So it's important to build that. If someone in your sphere is choosing between you or another person that they know is an agent, and you're consistently pushing them interesting, good-looking data on the market, they're going to trust you more as an expert. So here's some quick and dirty tips on how to make your market update social media posts most effective. So these are the things that we found actually overall help those market updates, even though they tend to be the lowest performing posts in terms of reach and engagement on social media. These are things that have helped us to drag the performance of those posts up little by little. Same kind of mentality is going to apply to what you put in your newsletters or maybe your mailers too, but just obviously adapted into a different media. So number one, you have to have an attractive design. We do use Canva. We love Canva here at JP Willman. We create these templates for our agents and share them out. So use an attractive design with colors, ideally. You have to have a lot of text, but minimize the amount of text that you can. It also helps to use, like you said, a template, like using the same design that you're updating every time so that people in your sphere get used to seeing that data in a certain format. That way they don't have to figure out what you're trying to say every time. Kind of a hack, actually, we found that posts with 2, 3, or 4 images specifically get far better reach. It has to do with people needing to click on the images to blow them up to see what's in there. So when you can use 2 images, 3 or 4 for a market update is probably too many, but what we do is we have a little market update like this image you see here from Maple Grove, which is our native market here, JP Willman. And then right next to it, we have an MSP, Minneapolis-St. Paul Metro market update. And those 2 little images sit right next to each other, and people have to blow them up to really read them. So Facebook sees those clicks as engagement, and our posts actually get a lot more reach as a result of that. You should be doing your market updates weekly. It makes a ton of sense why you should do them weekly, because here's the thing: if you send out your market update for the last month, best case scenario, you send it out like first of the month, you're sending your market update for the last month, but then that last month's market update, that's already passed. We're into the next month already, so that data isn't, unless someone's a data nerd, that's not really relevant. You want to know what's happening right now as a consumer if you are in a real estate transaction process or mindset. You need up-to-date data, so we would suggest doing market updates weekly, but having them be short little snippets of data like we do more consistently, as opposed to this broad, here's what happened in the last month in real estate, which is really what no one cares about. Be on time with last week's data. We actually have our own proprietary data analysis process and system, and that's how we crank out this data in the format that you see it in our social media posts, where we're harvesting real estate market trend data week to week as soon as that data is available, which is literally we do 7-day chunks, and then on day 8 is when we're analyzing and posting that data out. So be on time so that the data is relevant based on what's going on in your sphere's minds, rather than sharing old data, right? We get a lot of old data from the MLS. It's good data, but a lot of times they'll report like on the 15th of a month on like the previous month's data. So you're already like well beyond that trend in time by the time you get access to it. Year-over-year comparisons are the best because that gives people the overall sense of what's really going on, like in context. So do year-over-year comparisons. And then you can do week-to-week or month-to-month trends, but like only when they're notable or major or something really interesting. So we have an example of that right now. So last week it snowed, was the first time it snowed really majorly here in Minnesota. And we actually watched in the data as home showings dropped 17% in 1 week. Well, probably due to the snowfall. There's nothing else that happened last week really major. So that's super interesting, right? 17% drop. That's a good week-to-week, month-to-month trend in real estate data. But any other week-to-week or month-to-month trends are not super relevant to people. They will prefer to see that year-over-year comparison. And the last pointer we have, which will help your market updates get much better engagement and reach on social media, is to go for the headline effect. So try to distill your data. We do this every week, actually. Distill your data, your market update, into a single key point that matters, right? Rather than just like, vomiting data and numbers on people. Here's what happened to all these numbers. Distill it down into the single most important, most interesting thing that happened. Our next video, stay tuned. We're moving on in our What to Post series. This time we're going to talk about how to create posts that are entertaining. We're going to share with you what actually the format and content of our top performing posts are. We're going to teach you how to quickly and easily find content that's entertaining, and then give you some insight onto what types of articles to share and where to get those articles from. So if you have requests for future Marketing Minute video topics, please email base@jpwillman.com, like home base, or feel free to comment on any of these videos. Subscribe to us on YouTube and like our Facebook page. That way you can stay up to date on all these videos we're cranking out. We're going to crank out probably between 2 and 4 videos on marketing and real estate mindset every week. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.